It is always a great day when we can invite our good friend Mark Durrant, former BYU basketball player, current BYU basketball radio analyst, on the show so that we can discuss Cougar hoops. Even when it hasn't been great, Mark, how are you on this Monday after a rough weekend for the Cougars on the hard court?
Well, Mondays are always tough, at least for me. And then after the tough basketball I've watched the last couple of weeks, it's even harder. But being on with my two buddies, Spencer and Jerem, who I love, makes me happy this Monday morning. And by the way, Jerem, I watched the volleyball game the other night against Ball State. I think it was Friday where they came back and won that game. And I just thought you were fantastic, man. It was just
thank you.
Pure enjoyment watching that. You do a great, great job. Spencer, I don't have anything specific to compliment you on, but you're a good-looking man. You're good-looking.
Thanks, brother.
Agreed.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. That's really nice. You didn't watch Saturday for obvious reasons. You were busy with basketball, but all good. Okay,
I was busy, and it looks like that was a good decision after all.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. BYU lost in 4. Okay, let's talk about our question of the day. And we discussed it, and what's trending is, do you believe BYU will make the NCAA tournament? Obviously, it's still in, according to Lenardi, just barely. But it's not trending well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story of my life, not trending well. Listen, I think absolutely they can. Clearly, it's going to depend on what they do the next 3 weeks. If they take care of business like I think they should, against LMU and Pepperdine, they'll have 4 wins there, and obviously those don't take those for granted at this point. I mean, you could lose to anybody in the conference. BYU's proven that, but let's just assume that they do take care of business there. And the big game obviously will be St. Mary's. The one game BYU's looked really good in conference has been St. Mary's. I know it was at home, but I think they can play with the Gales. And to me, if you would win your last 5 regular season games, one of those being St. Mary's, who would likely at this point be second in the conference and will be in the tournament, if you can say, well, we swept that team, I think that would be a good case for you to get in the tournament. Now, obviously, you have to throw in the conference tournament. If BYU's playing Friday or Saturday and lose that game or games, or I guess you just lose one game in the tournament, that would hurt you, obviously. I think if you get to the semis on Monday with a 5-game winning streak to end conference, I think BYU will probably be in. I mean, they were in for so long, I think people got used to that idea, and BYU's trying to dissuade them at this point, unfortunately. But I think there's still enough time and enough games to kind of get right again with people's minds. But all that said, I mean, that's a tall bar because this team's not playing well, and things will have to change, and they'll have to find something in order to do that. But there's a clear path, I think, for them to do it. I think they will. Knowing the coaching staff like I do and these players like I do, my view is I fully expect them to figure it out and figure out a way to win those games and get in the tournament. I think that's their goal, and I think that it's a team that can accomplish it.
Mark, almost unbelievably, BYU is currently 6th place in the West Coast Conference standings. 2 weeks ago, we would have laughed at the notion of BYU being in 6th place, yet here we are. You just mentioned BYU getting to the Monday semifinal in the conference tournament in Vegas. In your mind, if BYU, let's say, does win 5 games and they close out on a 5-game win streak, do you feel like they'd be in a position to have a bye to those semifinals, or do you feel like the Cougars are going to have to earn their way in regardless?
Right now, it looks to me like they're gonna be playing at least Saturday. I mean, the goal is to not be playing Friday at this point. I mean, realistically speaking, but of course it depends on what St. Mary's does and San Francisco. They don't seem to slip up a lot. I mean, on against the Pacifics and the Pepperdines and the Portlands of the world. I mean, Portland gave San Francisco a tough fight the other night, missed a free throw to tie it right at the end. But it's going to be hard to catch back up, I think, with those teams because they're just not going to lose a lot. Obviously, they'll lose their games to Gonzaga, I would think. But with that said, the conference is very good. You know, Santa Clara is a force to be dealt with. There's good teams that can knock you off, but I think even with a 5-game winning streak, it'll be hard to get to that triple bye into Monday. But and then, I mean, you're playing, whether you play Friday or Saturday, you're playing a really good team that you've already struggled with likely, and it's not going to be easy to get past them. So I mean, BYU's got a tough road ahead of them.
It'd be gnarly if BYU slid to Friday. I mean, it'd just be out of the top 4. That'd be crazy. Hopefully, BYU's top 4. They're playing Saturday. You play one game. You're into a semifinal, and then you have a probably quad 1 game against San Francisco or St. Mary's. You would hope, but if BYU is on the Gonzaga side of the bracket, that's not good. So let's talk about the next 5 weeks, as you mentioned. LMU and Pepperdine twice, home and road, and then St. Mary's on the road. Obviously, you got to win that game, but do you feel like BYU has the urgency to avoid another Pacific, which was a quad 4 loss? That would kill the Cougs.
Yeah, it would kill them. And this discussion would be moot at that point, I think, to have another one of those losses. So everything depends on winning those games. And here's the thing. If you think LMU or Pepperdine is the least bit scared of BYU right now, you're crazy. I mean, they're thinking, oh boy, these guys are hurting. We got them. Pepperdine just beat Pacific, and this is their chance to get a nice little win, and they really believe they can beat BYU. So, and BYU, conversely, is a team. Talk about trends. Is a team with real struggles confidence-wise right now. I mean, it's clear that you've got some issues individually and as a team, and to go on the road, even though they're quad 4 teams. And expect to just win, that's not where we're at right now, right? I mean, you better figure some things out in these next couple of days and kind of try to get some of that confidence back and figure out how you're going to approach the rest of this season, come up with a good game plan, because what you're doing is not working. I'm scared to death of those games, and I hope the players are scared to death too. Is a fine line being confident that you're going to win. I was always afraid of losing. I was so afraid of losing that it motivated me to win. And I hope those guys don't think that they can just go in and expect to win against these teams, because they're coming for them. They're good enough to beat you. And with the way you're playing, they can beat you. So you better have a healthy dose of fear to help motivate you to make sure you're playing your best and get those critical wins.
BYU basketball analyst and former BYU basketball player Mark Durrant is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's get pinpoint accurate with this thing. Where's the biggest issue? Where does BYU need to make an adjustment in the style of play so that they can right the ship and start winning again, a.k.a. having fun again?
Well, I mean, if I could do that, I'd be making a lot more money coaching somewhere. But I can give you my thoughts, obviously. And with all this, with all I say, I have complete confidence in Coach Pope and Coach Burgess and Coach Figger and Coach Robinson. I mean, listen, they're figuring this out. They know the problems better than I do. But clearly, teams are figuring out what BYU wants to do offensively. They're not particularly potent offensive team to begin with. Teams are taking away Alex Barcelo. The BYU runs that weave, or the post comes and sets a high screen. They switch, they double. Their main goal is Alex Barcelo will not get good looks. He will not beat us. Everyone else on the team, what do you got? Can you beat us? Because we're taking away Alex Barcelo. So I think what I'd like to see is BYU take a different approach offensively, try to work from the inside out rather than run the perimeter and try and attack to the inside from the perimeter. Try to get Fusini a lot more touches, try and work the offense through him. I think he's taken a step back, but he's a tremendous player. He's a good passer. Get the ball in the paint, even if it's off the dribble. Get the ball in the paint and don't force it. Just touch the paint with your feet, get a good jump stop, kick it back out to the perimeter. That will help Alex. Teams will have to help defensively. They'll have to collapse. and Alex will be able to get some shots. So I think you need to take a new approach, whether it's that approach or something else. Something needs to change with your offensive schemes because teams know it too well, and they're taking away Alex Barcelo. And other guys, when Alex is out of the game, like a guy like Gideon George the other night against Gonzaga had a nice game because of what they were doing to Alex, left Gideon open. And Fusini has to play better you have to get points in the paint. So there's a lot of things, but I think you need to change some things offensively to be able to take team, because they know what you're doing now. So you have to do something different, or they're going to stop you because they're just too good of coaches, and they'll figure you out. So you have to make changes consistently. The other thing, I don't think you have to make a change, but this team to me was a defensive team all year long, and that's what got them wins. They've taken a step back defensively. I don't know what that is specifically. Obviously, if you play Gonzaga, you're going to get beat. But you don't have to get beat the way BYU got beat. I think BYU could have put a much better effort defensively and at least put up some resistance, right, against that. And I don't think they did a good job with that. And also, their rebounding hasn't been as good. And so there's some things that they are really good at that they're just not doing well right now. And I think they need to refocus and get better at that. So listen, there's a laundry list. They're going through it right now. It's miserable in practice. But I think if you can address some of these issues, you get right back where you need to be.
Mark Durrant with us on BYU Sports Nation. Mark, before we let you go, do you have any other compliments you'd like to offer to Jerem? Because it's a Monday. It's tough. BYU's lost 4 in a row. So let's put in some good words for our good friend, shall we?
That was enough.
Listen, I love Jerem Jordan so much, and he is the nicest guy. Listen,
but
I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and she loves both of you, and you're always so kind, and you're just good people, and BYU Nation is so lucky to have you in everything that you do. And you do it the right way, you do it professionally, and you do it with great kindness, and you're the best people, and I love it. So I can't say enough good things about you. You can't cut me off, Jerem. No, I'm going to keep talking about Jerem. Oh,
Spencer was fishing. I'm reeling it in.
I'm coming. I love you, Jerem. Spencer, you're like Hiram. You're not one whit behind him.
Oh, my gosh. Not one whit.
I love it. Mark, we're going to send you a Pez dispenser. We'll find something that you don't have.
At least 3.
And we'll get you something into your collection that you don't have already. Thank you for the time, my friend.
I got 'em right here.
Let's go.
Right there,
oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, baby.
It's amazing.
Good vibes on a Monday. We need it for sure. And we look forward to BYU hopefully turning this thing around. Thanks, Mark.
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot. Take it easy. Go Cougars.
Mark Durrant on
Cougs.
BYU Sports Nation.